Everybody's asking what we're doing for Fall Brawl this year. We're not. We had some cars lined up for Fall Brawl. Some stuff came up. I didn't really want to build them. I ended up selling the Lumina to a buddy, and I kept the Camry for next year, so you'll be watching that 4-cylinder automatic Camry next year. But we did just purchase this car. For any of you guys that don't know, this is an Acura. This is an Acura, I believe, TL, and it has a 3.2 liter V6 automatic in it. Now what are we gonna do with this car? Same day as Fall Brawl, there is a 300 lap enduro race where I can have stock gas tank, stock battery, pretty much a stock car, just a half decent cage, blah blah blah. They restrict me on tire size, but anyway, it's an enduro race for fun. So we just bought this car. We're gonna go home and smash out all the windows, take what we don't need off the car, get it ready for a cage. And did I forget to mention, this 300 lap enduro is for $10,000 to win. Now this will be the first time in 5 years I've tried not to hit people while driving, so we'll see how this goes. As of right now, we have a car. Today's the 12th, and the enduro's on the 22nd, so that gives us 10 days to build this car. So I guess let's load it and let's go home and start building. Well, here it is. I've had this car for a day. Today's the 13th, and she's stripped. I've started trying to figure out what I can do for tire sizes, because I figured out I can only fit a 16 on the front, so I might have to buy tires for that. Mustang rims here fit on the back. They're the right bolt pattern. The only thing it says is I can't have more than 1 inch of offset, and it can't be more than 7 inches wide. So these rims right here are 7 inches wide, but I'm not sure on the offset difference, but realistically they look about 1 inch over factory. It's what they look like to me. So we'll see if that passes this place's tech. So I've got the rear bumper tech screwed on. I'm gonna put some more tech screws. I've come up with a cool idea for the spoiler. I'm gonna stack like 3 of them just to get the downforces needed. That's just a joke, so you guys know that. You don't actually think I'm required. Anyway, interior's out. This race right here lets me keep stock gas tank, stock exhaust, stock battery. I'm gonna move the battery to the back seat, well, right behind the driver's seat actually. And the reason for that is I want to put as much weight on the driver's side near the back as possible. So apparently that keeps the back end closer to the ground, and it keeps the wear off this driver's side, passenger side front. I've done some cool tuner stuff where you bend the hinges just a bit to give it a little bit of coolness. I went Mad Max on the front bumper to help keep that on. I did change the bumper underneath there. It's got a Crown Vic bumper on the front of it. I cut the hole, had a couple buddies come over, made fun of me for a bit. Stock windshield stays in it. I'm gonna leave the wipers just in case it rains. I'm gonna leave the heat. Let's get the money shot here, boys and girls. So here is that 3.2 liter. Now, I think there's a power steering leak in this. As you can see, the fluid's kind of jumping around, so that's not a great sign. But I'll top that up before I go in. Plus, there's a whole bunch of bottles of coolant, power steering fluid in the back of this car. If worse comes to worse, I can just cut the power steering belt at the race, because it's a separate belt, and then not run power steering the entire race. When you're going that fast, power steering really doesn't matter. Car's got a cool strut tower brace that I'm gonna leave because it's factory. I'm gonna leave the stock air box. I'm gonna buy a new air filter for it. I'm gonna do an oil change to the car just to help it. It is gonna be redlining for about an hour and a half kind of thing around there. So I do want it to survive. So any cheap maintenance I can do, a $5 air filter, a $20 oil change. Speaking of oil changes, both of my daily drivers need oil changes, but I haven't done those ones yet. I'm gonna do the race car one. So I'm gonna leave the mirrors on because I've seen a couple people in the race have mirrors on. So one of my buddies did it last year. Oh, those are heated. I can feel the heat coming off of them. Holy, this is a fancy car. So I'm gonna leave those on there because one of my buddies did this race last year and he did nothing but shoulder check the first 15 laps. So hopefully that will eliminate a little bit of my shoulder checking. Still got to take the sunroof out. Some of the headliners still in there. Airbags, all that fun stuff. I did download an app called Track Advisor. What it does is it's an app for your phone that is GPS based that will keep track of your laps while you're on the race. All you do is you set the start point on an oval track and it'll tell you the time you do for each lap. Keep the track of all the laps you do. So that will be pretty cool. We'll see how that app will work for me. From the in-car video when I'm racing, you guys will be able to see the app, but I don't really know much more about it. I did a couple practice plays with it around the old Zeller's building here in town. But this is the car I got here. Now let's get this back in the shop and get my NG Customs cage into it and get some more tires situated onto it and maybe do our triple spoiler idea. Stock gas tank, like I said, in this car, I forgot to mention, but there is a demolition derby after. Now everybody that knows me knows I'm a derby guy, and this will be the first time in 5 years I've tried not to hit anybody. So if this car pisses me off, I will be demolition derbying it with the stock gas tank underneath the car. So we will see how that goes. Alright guys, let's get this car in there and do some more work.